Okay, so you got into coaching. What made you choose to continue on in that role? Because you wanted to stay in the game, but it must be more than that.
Well, I wanted to stay in the game. I didn't really know anything else. I mean, I went to high school for lunch. I mean, to play, I was in charge of the euchre games for all the lunch periods. And so that was my goal. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So we were living in St. Catharines at the time, and my sister-in-law was a high school teacher. And I said, well, my wife didn't want to move anywhere. Anyway, so
This was at the end of your playing
at the end of my playing career, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do, right? And so I said, well, I'll try to get a job then. And she wrote up a resume that was sort of honest, but at the same time, I didn't recognize that it was me. And I ended up, out of 150 people, getting interviewed for the director of people personnel for the city of St. Catharines. It was a pretty big job. And there was one of three people interviewed, and the guy that was the interviewer was in charge of the lacrosse team in St. Catharines, and he was a big sports guy. So that's probably how I got the interview in the first place. But after he started talking about I have to deal with unions and everything, I just put up my hands. I said, well, you got the wrong guy here. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. So I went back and was fortunate enough to get a player assistant coaching job in Phoenix. And from there, it was a player assistant coaching job in Fort Wayne. And
Now let me just stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Bruce coached in Fort Wayne, as he just indicated, and his son, Ben, just won the ECHL championship in Fort Wayne with the Comets this year, which is also a pretty cool thing that's happened in your life.
It's really cool because, thank you. Thank you for Ben. It was great. And he keeps telling me all about it too, that he did it in 5 games and it took me 7 games to win the cup when I was down there. So I hear about it all the time, but he's a great coach, great young coach at 37 years old, and I think you'll see him in the NHL at some point.